Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone. For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing. Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by Hyundai. Experience the 2011 Hyundai Sonata today at HyundaiSonata.com.
This is Autoline Daily for July 11th, 2011. We're back from vacation, and here is what's happening in the automotive industry today. The UAW could be taking a close look at trying to unionize Volkswagen's new plant in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Associated Press quotes a UAW organizer who says some employees at the plant have reached out to the union and that the UAW has been in talks with management. But no official organizing has started, at least not yet. Remember, as a German company, half of VW's supervisory board is comprised of labor representatives. And VW historically has had unionized workforces around the world. So the UAW would probably have a better chance going after VW than any other foreign automaker in the U.S. market. And foreign automakers are complaining that the U.S. government will favor the American automakers in how it implements new fuel economy regulations. The Obama administration is floating a proposal to boost CAFE to 56.2 miles per gallon, but it would allow trucks to phase in their targets more slowly. The Wall Street Journal says full-size trucks and SUVs would not have to dramatically boost their fuel economy until 2020. Here's my Autoline insight. Raising CAFE to 56.2 miles per gallon could cripple truck sales. The technology needed for trucks to hit their target would raise prices astronomically. That would hurt GM, Ford, and Chrysler and the UAW the most. And that's likely why the Obama administration is looking at giving them some breathing room. And according to this next report, they're going to need all the breathing room they can get. GM, Ford, and Chrysler are having trouble winning over young buyers. According to TrueCar.com, Generation Y, that's the so-called millennials, are flocking to import brands. Scion topped the list with the biggest share of the 18 to 27-year-old market. Mitsubishi, Mazda, Nissan, and Volkswagen also performed very well in the survey. The top-rated domestic brand was Jeep, but it only came in 12th place. But maybe if more youngsters were familiar with older Detroit iron, they'd be more interested in what the big three offer today. The Hagerty Insurance Agency, a company famous for insuring classic cars, put on a special show last Friday. The Hagerty Driving Experience offered 35 young people ranging in age from 16 to 20 years old time behind the wheels of some classic cars to teach them how to drive a manual transmission. The event took place at the Automotive Hall of Fame in Dearborn, Michigan. Some of the vintage machines on hand included a 1955 Porsche 356 as well as a 1940 Buick Super Convertible. And what a cool way to learn how to drive a manual transmission. And if the big three want to capture new buyers, maybe they should borrow an idea from China. Since they're facing intense foreign competition, Chinese automakers just held an auto show in Beijing that was only open to Chinese brands. Called the Chinese Brand Auto Expo, the show features about 200 vehicles from 20 manufacturers, including BAIC, Chery, BYD, GAC, and others. Alternative energy vehicles are a big part of the show, including a partially solar-powered BYD F3 DM. Chrysler's Ram brand could be getting a couple of FIAT products as early as next year. Ward reports the Doblo, a utility van similar in size to a Ford Transit Connect, plus either the Iveco Daily or Ducato could be coming to the States. Nothing has been officially announced yet, but it looks like Chrysler's aiming to challenge Mercedes, Ford, and Nissan in the Class 1 and 2 commercial vehicle segments. While Porsche purists may get heartburn at the thought of an SUV wearing the same badge as their beloved 911s and Boxsters, other buyers don't seem to mind. According to Bloomberg, the German automaker simply cannot keep up with production of the $48,000 Cayenne. To meet demand, Porsche wants to raise production 10 to 20% and hopes to lower wait times for the German-made SUV to 6 months at the most. Walter De Silva is the head of design at the Volkswagen Group. He's designed a lot of well-known cars, and coming up after the break, he'll be talking about his favorite one.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Usually, we do a preview of my guest on our Autoline television show, but since we were on vacation last week, instead of a preview, we'll do a review. My guest is Walter De Silva, the head of all design at the Volkswagen Group. An Italian, he spent some of his career at Fiat and Alfa Romeo before going to VW. Joining me for this interview are Jim Hall from 2953 Analytics and Todd Lassa from Motor Trend.
What is, of the vehicles you have been involved in the design of, what would you say is the most beautiful of the cars you've designed?
Well, somebody's not agree with me. but for me, it's still stay the Audi A5 Coupe.
Why the A5 Coupe?
I love all my cars, it's normal, but the Alfa Romeo 156.
Beautiful car.
Oh, yeah.
Stunning car.
Because was also the car that gave me the opportunity to have for the first time the freedom to design a car, to do this new interpretation of Alfa Romeo, and the car is also today on the road, still stay good proportion, good design, and very sexy.
But you prefer the A5.
The
Why?
A5 is more sophisticated, more difficult and sophisticated in the surfaces, in the sculpture. And the history of A5 is something special for me, because to design a Gran Turismo for an Italian designer is something special. Only the famous 250 GT of Ferrari are the Gran Turismo. You know,
yeah.
When Wintercon, I remember the board member of Audi was to take the decision to go in production. I say in a side everybody was happy. Okay, with that was a discussion, aerodynamic. I said, beg your pardon, I don't freeze the model. Was a silence around me. Why? Because it's not. I don't feel good in my stomach.
Wasn't right yet.
And Winter saying, I give you other 2 weeks, no more. And I invite him 24 of December to see the model. And he come, you see the model, say, now I understand.
You can watch that entire interview with De Silva on our website, AutolineDetroit.tv, right now. And speaking of designers, on Autoline After Hours this Thursday night, we'll have Jack Telnack, the former head of design at the Ford Motor Company. Join us then for a great discussion. And that is today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.